Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Ibrahim Traoré's era. Today's story is heavy, it is painful, but it is also powerful. Because what happened to Alino Faso, a young fearless voice of the Burkinabè people, has set fire to an entire nation, and that fire is spreading like Harmattan flames. This week, Côte d'Ivoire finally sent the body of Alino Faso back home to Burkina Faso, and Captain Ibrahim Traoré is furious. But before I bring you today's shocking update, let us rewind for a moment, so you understand how this tension between Traoré and Ivory Coast reached this point. Alino Faso, who was born Alino Traoré, was not a soldier. He never carried a gun, but he fought on a battlefield of his own, the social media space. With truth, patriotism, and African pride as his weapons, he built a following of over 400,000 on Facebook. His voice gave hope to displaced families, uplifted communities, and encouraged Africans to break free from Western dominance. And that, brothers and sisters, made him dangerous. In January 2025, while he visited Abidjan, Ivorian authorities arrested him. They accused him of plotting with foreign agents. From that moment, his powerful voice was silenced. He was held not in a normal prison, but in a military prison. For 6 months, he was kept in military prison. No visits allowed. Every request from Burkina Faso was rejected. Then on July 24, 2025, the announcement hit like thunder. Alino Faso was dead. The Ivorian government claimed he had taken his own life. They said he slit his wrists, then hanged himself with his bed sheets. But Burkinabè citizens did not believe a word of it. The reaction in Burkina Faso was explosive. Thousands filled the streets, waving flags and carrying Alino's photos, chanting with one voice, "Justice for Alino." The government of Burkina Faso stood by its people. The Ministries of Information and Foreign Affairs rejected the suicide claim by the Ivorian government, calling it what it looked like, an execution. They pointed to the secrecy, the denial of visits, the fact that Alino's death was broadcast online before his family even knew. Then came Traoré. In a fiery speech, he gave Abidjan 48 hours to explain what had really happened. He demanded Alino's body be returned immediately for proper checks. His warning was clear: if answers are not given, Burkina Faso will respond. But Ivory Coast ignored the demand. At first they refused to release the body. Weeks passed. Silence. Then this week they finally returned his body to Burkina Faso. But listen closely. They sent the body without truth. They gave no answers, no justice, no apology. Only a coffin. Heavy. Cold. Carrying not just Alino's lifeless form, but the insult of silence. When the body arrived in Ouagadougou, the capital exploded in grief and rage. Mothers wept openly. Youth filled the streets, fists raised, shouting his name like thunder echoing across the Sahel. Alino Faso! Alino Faso! The message was clear. This was not respect. This was provocation. Abidjan believed they could silence a son of Burkina Faso and simply return him in a box without consequence. But Traoré is not the kind of leader who swallows humiliation. He is enraged. He has deployed thousands of Burkinabè troops to the Ivorian border. Every car is searched. Every Ivorian entering is being questioned. This is not paranoia. This is protection. Because Traoré believes, and many Burkinabè agree, that Côte d'Ivoire is not acting alone. They see the hand of France in this, the same France that has long worked to divide Africans against one another. Now the border feels like a war zone. On one side, Burkinabè soldiers patrol like lions, guarding their soil. On the other, the silence from Abidjan grows louder than words. Everyone can sense it. This is no longer diplomacy. This is confrontation. And in the capital, Traoré is preparing for a decisive step. He is ready to cut all ties with Ivory Coast. Trade, diplomacy, even borders. If there is no justice for Alino Faso, then there will be no friendship with Abidjan. The people support him without hesitation. To them, Ivory Coast has betrayed Africa itself by serving France instead of truth. On walls across Ouagadougou, graffiti reads, "Justice for Alino or no peace." Crowds chant, "Ouattara is France's governor." This is no longer about one man's death. This is about dignity, about sovereignty, about a proud nation refusing to be disrespected by neighbors acting like puppets. Over 200,000 citizens are now on the streets. Students, teachers, workers, elders, united in grief and rage. Because to them, Alino Faso was more than a blogger. He was a brother, a patriot, a defender of freedom. His only crime was loving Burkina Faso too much. Many believe Abidjan did not act alone. They see Ivory Coast as just the hand, and France as the mind. Because Alino used his platform to denounce neo-colonialism, to openly support Traoré, to expose Western manipulation, and that my family made him a target. Alassane Ouattara's silence after the death only added fuel to the fire. No apology, no condolences, no serious investigation, just a cold statement and denial. Now the region trembles. Protesters have surrounded the Ivorian embassy in Ouagadougou. Flags have been burned, and the names of Alino Faso and Thomas Sankara are being shouted together, martyrs of an Africa still fighting to breathe freely. Burkina Faso is not asking for revenge. They are asking for truth, but Traoré has made it clear, if that truth is denied, there will be consequences. In Bobo-Dioulasso, entire communities gathered for a traditional funeral. Elders poured libation, calling on the ancestors to protect Burkina Faso's youth. One woman declared, "They killed Sankara, they killed Alino, but this time we will not let them win. His blood has awakened us." Artists, veterans, women's groups, even religious leaders have joined the protests. Social media has exploded with "Justice for Alino," "Burkina First," and "Traoré Withstand" trending across Africa. From Mali to Niger, from Lagos to Nairobi, the cry is the same. Africa is awake, because everyone knows the truth. Alino did not die because he was wrong. He died because he was right. And his death has exposed the ugly reality of puppet regimes serving foreign masters. Today, Burkina Faso stands at a crossroads. Traoré has recalled his ambassador from Abidjan, frozen all diplomatic contact, and announced a Pan-African legal committee to bring the case to international attention. Behind the scenes, soldiers are on alert, drones are monitoring the skies, and the Burkinabè army speaks of active defense readiness. And through it all, the people rise higher. Alino Faso's name is no longer just his own, it has become a symbol, a rallying cry for dignity, sovereignty, and African pride. Traoré has promised a national monument in his honor, a remembrance day every July 24, and lessons of his story taught in schools. Because Burkina Faso will not let Alino be forgotten. And in his final words to the world, Traoré thundered, "We see the lies, we know the game, but you fail to see that Africa has changed. Burkina Faso will not kneel, not today, not ever again." This is Ibrahim Traoré's era. Like, share, and subscribe, because history is being written before our eyes.